Hi, I'm Steve Grossman, and I have the privilege of serving as CEO of ICIC, the Initiative for a Competitive Intercity. Welcome to our first ever virtual national conference. As we begin ICIC's national conference, I think we can all agree that 2020 has been a year unlike any other we've ever experienced. And that's true no matter how old you are or how long you've been in business. Just ask my mother Shirley, who'll turn 99 on March 1st, and she'd be the first to agree. COVID-19 and its devastating impact, as well as the resurgent racial justice and equity movement, have challenged all of us to confront systemic racism wherever we find it. Just as ICIC was founded by renowned Harvard Business School professor Dr. Michael Porter in the aftermath of the 1992 Los Angeles uprising, this is a defining moment when our extraordinary nationwide ecosystem of small business owners, partners, and colleagues is embracing what Martin Luther King called the fierce urgency of now. Our collective vision and commitment can be no less than eliminating concentrated poverty and closing this country's racial wealth gap. Achieving ICIC's mission, which is driving inclusive economic prosperity in under-resourced communities to create jobs, income, and wealth for local residents, can only be achieved by always being true to our values. ICIC, at its essence, is inclusive and committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything we do. We're path-breaking, continuously improving, collaborative, committed to community building, transparent, and accountable. That's who we are, that's what we stand for, and that's the kind of leadership we want to provide in every part of this nation. Thanks to all of you for joining us on this journey. At this national conference, we have a record-breaking attendance, a record-breaking audience comprised of a whole variety of people, and I want to mention you all. We have alumni from the 10,000 Small Businesses program. We have Inner City 100 winners, both this year's and winners from the past 22 years. We have participants and alumni from our Inner City Capital Connections program, participants from the 16 virtual cohorts we've run throughout the country during 2020. We have participants and alumni from the Cultivate Small Business program, our Greater Boston Food Cluster initiative. We have nominating partners, in many ways the lifeblood of this organization. Almost every one of you was nominated by someone when you began your journey with ICIC. I'll have more to say about those nominating partners in a little while. And what would we do without our sponsors? Whether you're a sponsor for the national conference, or a sponsor for one of our programs, or for our research, you are the foundation on which we build our work, our vision, our mission, and our values. And finally, our coaches and our mentors. I think you all know that one-on-one coaching is critical to everything we do. And it's our coaches and mentors from throughout the country who are so critical to that role that we play, providing that one-on-one experience for our participants. I want to thank our event sponsors. First, our principal sponsor. You all know who it is. Chevron has been with us for 15 years. For more than 15 years, they've invested in the national conference and the production and publication of our Inner City 100 list, which recognizes the 100 fastest growing inner city businesses in America, published annually in Fortune. We also co-developed the Dorothy A. Terrell Community Impact Award, which we'll present on December 8th. It recognizes one Inner City 100 winner for the tangible ways in which that company and its leadership enriches and enhances the life of the members of its community. To the three leaders from Chevron, we express our boundless gratitude. To Dave Feldman, Terrence Baptiste, and Stephanie Beveridge, you make us proud, and we're thrilled to be your partners every step of the way. To our visionary sponsors, FedEx, Memphis-based, they underwrite every year our Memphis Inner City Capital Connections program, and they also created a few years ago the Champion of Global Entrepreneurship Award. Thanks so much to Pam Johnson, Rose Flanor, LaTanya Cooper, Bill Harris, and Sue Spence, FedEx's Chief Procurement Officer, who will actually present the Champion of Global Entrepreneurship Award a little bit later in this conference. To St. Louis-based Edward Jones, a national firm that has been our partner for more than 20 years. Thanks to Laura Ellenhorn and to the late John Bachman, a member of ICIC's board for so long, who provided visionary leadership and guidance to Mike Porter almost from day one. And finally, to PG&E, to Joan Kerr, to Lily Kwan, and to the entire team at PG&E for their deep commitment to supplier diversity. Thanks to our innovator sponsors. First, Bank of America. Bank of America is not only a sponsor of this conference, but they were the founding partner of our Intercity Capital Connections program all the way back in 2005. We want to thank Steve Fitzgerald, Charlie Henderson, Jason Stapleton, whom you'll see a little bit later in the conference as a judge on our Shark Tank panel, and to the more than 100 coaches from Bank of America who provide that one-on-one coaching for capital pitches to help companies get capital who need it so desperately to survive and thrive in this environment. And to Regions Bank, our partner since 2014. They've run cohorts and sponsored Intercity Capital Connections cohorts throughout the Sun Belt. And we thank Leroy Abrahams, Hinton Taylor, Brett Schaffer, and coaches who have been so instrumental in playing that role in those communities. To our pioneer sponsors, Doug Chamberlain from Appleton Partners, Jonathan Tower, principal of Arcturus Impact Investors, one of the most prominent impact investing firms in the United States. You'll see Jonathan a little bit later in the conference as a judge on the Shark Tank panel. To Robert and Jonathan Kraft of the Kraft Group, owners of the New England Patriots. And finally, to Salesforce. Salesforce has been a leader in diversity procurement, and we thank Craig Cuffey and Madison Gunter for their leadership and for their involvement. And to other partners who were investors in this conference, to Natalie Lomedico, who will deliver a keynote address a little bit later, CEO of LA-based Giroux Glass, to Nalini Bates and Tiffany Smith from Procter & Gamble Gillette, and to Maggie McDonough and Graham Chapman from Santander Bank, the sponsors of our Cultivate Small Business program, also investors in Intercity Capital Connections and our national conference. We have a lot of other national partners who have invested throughout the year in every one of our programs and our research, and I want to thank them at this time. First, to Goldman Sachs, the sponsors and founders of the 10,000 Small Businesses program. To Kaiser Permanente, the largest nonprofit health delivery system in America, who sponsored 10 Intercity Capital Connections cohorts this year. I know of no organization nationwide, nonprofit or for-profit, that has a deeper commitment to the racial justice and racial equity agenda. Thanks to the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, to Amerisource Bergen and their foundation, to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, to Vizient, the largest group purchasing organization in America. Thanks to Cardinal Health, Blackstone Consulting, EY, St. Louis-based Rose International, and the Boston Consulting Group. We're proud to be associated with each of you in so much of the work that we do. Our focus this year at the National Conference is to highlight the strength of small businesses and tell stories of resilience and impact and innovation and kindness and generosity and community building. We also want to support the key drivers of small business growth: networking, education, recognition, enhanced access to capital, and of course, always coaching and mentoring. This conference is packed with valuable and enjoyable content, from keynote addresses by two extraordinary ICIC alumni, Stephanie Hickman of Chicago-based Trice Construction, and Natalie Lomedico of LA-based Giroux Glass. You'll participate in educational breakout sessions led by Harvard Business School professor Linda Applegate, and University of Illinois at Chicago professor Susan Perkins, a longtime professor of strategy in our Intercity Capital Connections program. And don't miss our kinder, gentler Shark Tank style pitch competition, always a highlight of our national conference. This year, you'll also have a chance to participate in the Business Growth Marketplace, through which you can request one-on-one meetings with leaders from the corporate procurement and finance spaces to build new relationships, which is the name of the game in small business. You'll have a chance to watch the presentation of the Intercity 100 Awards, which will be revealed for the first time at our last session on December 8th. And don't miss Michael Porter's talk a little bit later today. Michael Porter, our founder, our board chair, and one of the most visionary business professors in the world. He will talk about our past, our present, and our future. And finally, if you haven't already done so, please be sure to download our event app. Find it by searching for ICCC Program. That's ICCC Program in the Apple app or Google Play Store. And now it is my distinct privilege to hand the microphone to my colleague, Anna Marie Cruz, our Western Regional Manager of our Intercity Capital Connections program. Anna Marie, take it away.